Hey friends, just look how interesting challenge number 173 is. As always, you can solve it in your notebook and leave your answers in the comments. We need to find the shaded area of the square. So let's see how it's done. First, we're going to erase this shaded area, which we already know we need to determine. We're going to erase them. Look, I'm going to draw a line from the center of the circle. This is showing us the center of the two circles, isn't it? Then it tells us that the radius is 1. I'm going to draw a line from the center to the corner of the square, and that's worth 1 because it's also the same radius of this circle from here, right? And also, if I draw a line from the center to the other side of the center, we're going to make this line a bit straighter. Look, if I draw from one side to the other, it should also be 1, right? Because it's also the radius of this circle. And if we look at it from the other side, it's also the radius of that other circle, which is also 1. Now what happens if I divide this line here into 2 equal parts? Let's divide it then right here. Each side will measure, as this whole line measures 1, each side will measure half. Not half of a 150, 10%, and a half here and a half here. From here to here, including this part that we have empty here, outside the square. And also including this empty part here, outside the square. Now to this part right here, I'm going to call her X. Notice a right angle triangle formed here. Here are the 90 degrees. Ready? Now pay attention. Look, if we have a line here that is divided into 2 equal parts, so the square inside is also split into 2 equal parts, right? So na ato mapisin denon is this part here, which is half of the square, notice it is also half of the square that is upwards. So if this half here is x, this half over here will also be worth x. And we're going to erase this 1.5 and this 1.5. We already know each part measures 1.5. Okay, remember that x measures just from here to here, not including this part. But we know that from here to here measures half, right? This whole line, the base of the triangle, measures 1/2 plus x. This will measure all this line here. Look, I'm gonna draw it over here. We have the right triangle here. Ready? And this part here is x. The hypotenuse is 1, and down here the base will be a half more than x. A half x. Fantastic. We have all the data we need to find the value of x. So we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so we have the hypotenuse squared is equal to the sum of the 2 legs squared. So the hypotenuse then is 1. We have 1 squared, and this is going to be equal to a squared, which can be either of these 2 sides. We're going to say that this is going to be leg A and all of this is going to be leg B. So side A is x. We have a x squared because it's a squared plus b squared. Then how much is b? It's a half plus x. Let's put it over here. That's half a little bit more. Perfect. And all of this will be squared because it's b squared. So we have 1 squared, which is 1. We have x squared plus, here we need to apply the square binomial, the first term squared, so we end up with a half raised to the square, the double product of the first term, so half times x by the second term, plus the second term squared, that is x squared. Very well, continuing here, we have 1, we have x squared plus a half squared, which is a quarter. Very well, the square of the surge, the numerator and the denominator. More over here, we simplify this 2 with this 2, and we are left with just x, and over here we have x squared. Very well, we have here 1 equals x squared. Notice, we have here an x squared, and over there another. Then we add it, that's 2 times x squared. then more x plus x, and finally we're going to add a quarter, so plus a quarter. And then this one we are going to move to the other side by subtracting, so at this very step we can do it. We do not have the one here adding, and now there will be nothing on the other side. It will be remaining very well. Well, so we have that 0 will be equal to 2x squared plus x. How much is a quarter less than 1? That's minus 3 quarters. Minus 3 quarters is very simple. Multiply 4 by minus 1 is minus 4. Plus 1 is minus 3. So we put that in the numerator, and in the denominator we have this 4 here. Fantastic. We have a second degree equation that will solve with the general formula. Notice, remember, the general formula is x1 2 equals a minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times ak. About all this, about twice to very well, we remember it well, not 1, 2, the same. And let's see from here what a, b, and c is. A is the value that accompanies the variable with the highest exponent, that is 2. A b is the value that accompanies the variable that has half of the highest exponent, so there is no number, but it's understood to be 1. And c will be equal to what? To the independent term, which is minus 3/4. This fantastic thing here, we're going to replace it in our form. We have less b. b, what's it worth? It's worth 1, so we have minus 1 plus or minus the square root of b squared. So we said it's 1, and 1 squared is 1. Minus 4 times a is 2, and c is negative 3/4. Then negative 3/4. Alright. All of this over. So twice a, then 2 times a, which is worth 2 very well. Now we have our equation, and we're going to delete all this here to continue. So let's erase. Okay, we have already erased now. Then we are going to solve this. We have x sub 1, 2, and this equals minus 1. Minus 1 plus minus what? Over here, we have 1, this 4 is being multiplied by the 2, and is being multiplied by this 3/4. So we can simplify the 4 with the 4. This is important. When I say minus what? Then a minus makes a plus because you're multiplying minus by minus plus 6. Plus 1 would be 7. So we end up with the square root of 7. Regarding 2 times 2 equals 4. Great. And we're going to erase this because we don't need it anymore. So, see, so we've almost got the solution for x, right? And here we are going to have 2 options. We have minus 1. And if we use the minus square root of 7, we're going to get a negative number, but we need a positive number because we're talking like from a distance. So let's pick the max. We just need the value of the max. So we have x equals negative 1 plus the square root of 7 over 4. Very well, this is the value of x. We have found it. Fantastic. So now having the value of x, we can find the area of our square, which was what we were interested in, right? So if from here to here is x, and from here to here is also x, then each side of the square is 2x. 2x here, 2x there, and 2x over there. No, then just as 2 times each side counts, we'll set for you the area of a square will be equal to next to or squared, that is side by side, not next to squared. Then the area of the square is going to be equal. What's the side? The square side is 2x, so we have 2x to the power of 2. So the area of the square will be equal to 2 squared, which is 4, multiplied by x squared. Perfect. We need to find the square's area It's going to be equal to 4 times x squared, but how much is x? It's all of this here. I am going to dot the square root of 7 first to make it more visual how we are going to solve this. The square root of 7 minus 1. It does not matter if I put -1 first or the square root of 7 first over 4. Very good. And this is going to be squared. Not because it is x squared. Very good. So let's see. We have that the area of the square is equal. Ugly square. 4 times multiplied. Let's do it separately. Let's square the numerator. We get the square root of 7 minus 1. Square 4 squared gives us 16. So we can simplify over here. We get the 4th root of 1 and the 4th root of 6 is 4. Great, and we're going to continue solving this square binomial over here. We'll keep on the area of the square will be equal. Notice we have the square root of 7 minus 1 and this squared over 4. Very good. Let's solve the numerator. As it's a square binomial, then the first term squared square root of square of 7 squared plus 2 times the first times the second square root of 7 times 1 and plus the second squared, that is 1 squared, which gives us 1, so we can erase this one. Or should we leave it at that? Well, let's leave it at that, no? So all this is over 4. Don't forget it. We'll put this, the area further down, area of the square will be equal. So here this 2 simplifies with this 2. The index in the root with the exponent. And we get 7, and over here we have twice the square root of 7. For 1, then it doesn't matter, right? Plus 1. I made a mistake here. This one here is not a plus but a minus, because here we have a binomial squared but we have a half minus in the middle. So this one here is negative. We end up with negative here. Very well. Now let's add 7 plus 1, which gives us 8. Don't forget this over 4. Okay, almost forgot it. Here we have our video. The square will be 7 plus 1, which is 8. Minus 2 times the square root of 7 over 4. Very well. The area of the square is going to be equal. And here we can take out a common factor. We can take out the common factor of 2. That is going to be multiplied. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. And this term divided by 2 then gives me minus the square root of 7. All this over 4. We simplify from here, we get 2, and here we get 1, and we have already found the solution. Let's remove this from here. We get 2 here, and here 1. So we're left with just this here. Let's put in parentheses and say these are square units. Amazing. And we found the solution.
Our exercise is this one here.
This is the area then of the square that was painted before and appears again now. Amazing. Let me know in the comments if you like the video. And don't forget to subscribe and hit like so you don't miss the next video. See you another time. Bye.
Goodbye.